Hello, boys and girls. Let's wait to get everybody in here. Come on through, come on through. I got all the time in the world. Oh, where are these? I want, me personally, I want the maggots. I want the maggots to come on in. Come on in, come on in. This is an emergency. This is not an emergency broadcast system. Emergency broadcast system. No, this is an emergency live stream. This is emergency. We're gonna get everybody in. Get everybody in. Quick, 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 quick. I told you. 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 I told you there was going to be war crimes against your president. Apparently, he went too far. You remember that guy? What was his name? Mandaro, that he captured along with his wife for oil. I think they forgot to address Congress. As I stated last night, they did all that without addressing Congress. And look where it's going to be heading. Impeachment. Plus, the Marjorie Taylor Greene threat, the Marjorie Taylor Greene threats that the president, well, not my president, Donald Trump, has been signaling to Martella Green. Martella Green, they have already had broken up. It's getting worse because all she wants him to do is release the Epstein files, right? If you have nothing to, if you're innocent, you have nothing to worry about. But let me not jump too much ahead because I have receipts. I have receipts. First receipt. People saying, "You're lying about the boat. You were lying about the boat all along. It's justice. You don't know what you're talking about. All they did was hit the boat, and they said those people are justice. No, they didn't." Exhibit A.
A growing scandal about an alleged war crime that is engulfing the Trump administration. It involves a military airstrike back in September, the first in what Trump officials claim is a campaign targeting suspected drug smugglers in the Caribbean. The Washington Post reports that as officials watched the boat on a drone feed, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth gave the order, "Kill them all," according to two people with direct knowledge of the operation. But after the smoke cleared from the missile strike, there was a shock. Two survivors were clinging to the smoldering wreck. The Post reports that, quote, "the Special Operations Commander ordered a second strike to comply with Hegseth's instructions. The two men were blown apart in the water," two people familiar with the matter said.
Damn.
Now, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are saying that if the Washington Post's reporting is true, the strike is illegal.
Oh, wait. Shh. I said, shh. What did I tell you, bitches? Where are you maggots? Where are you maggots at? Where are you maggots at? Where are you maggots at? Strike wasn't illegal. Strike wasn't illegal. Strike wasn't illegal. What did the lady just tell you? It was not approved of Congress. He thinks he's above the law. Shall we go to Exhibit B?
How do I, as a member of the public, anybody else, understand, again, these wildly divergent statements that are falling on partisan lines about something that is so gravely serious?
Well, as a former Secretary of Defense, I'm very concerned that that the Republicans and the Democrats in the Congress are not coming together to look at this situation and determine what happened. This is serious. We've deployed almost 15,000 of our young men and women into harm's way. They're putting their lives on the line right now. And we don't know at this point just exactly what the objective is, whether or not we are really abiding by the law, what is the strategy. I think it's really important for Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill to come together on behalf of the American people to properly define just exactly what the hell is going on.
All right. That was the boat strike alone. Now, let's get to this other thing with Mandaro and that nonsense. Hold on a second. Do-do-do-do. It won't take me very long. Won't take me very long at all. Let's see. Did I get that over there? Yes.
On January 3rd, 2026, U.S. forces launched a rapid operation in Caracas, Venezuela. It lasted less than 30 minutes. There were airstrikes, explosions, casualties reported.
Oops, I forgot. Sorry. Illegal. 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 Let me rewind that. Illegal. Why the hell does this thing keep jumping? Trump illegal strike struck Venezuela illegally.
Mamá, ¿qué pasó? ¿No vio? Si le escuché. Ay, mamá, mira otra. So, the big story right now isn't just the US strike in Venezuela. It's the protests calling for President Trump's impeachment after those strikes. And the core argument behind those protests is this: Trump ordered US military action without
Oh, I'm gonna get to Iran in a minute.
meaning, critics say, the strikes were illegal. Here's what happened. On January 3rd, 2026, US forces launched a rapid operation in Caracas, Venezuela. It lasted less than 30 minutes. There were airstrikes, explosions, casualties reported inside Venezuela. And during that operation, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured and flown to the United States to face criminal charges. Trump called it a large scale strike coordinated with law enforcement. He even said the US would run Venezuela temporarily during a transition and involve itself in the oil sector. But back in the US, that move triggered instant backlash. Protesters gathered outside the White House, at state capitals, and across major cities, demanding impeachment or even the 25th Amendment. Online, lawmakers and activists warned that this was an undeclared war. And a huge part of that anger comes down to Congress, because the Trump administration did not notify Congress before the strikes. Secretary of State Marco Rubio later said that pre notification would not have been possible. Instead, members of Congress were only briefed after the operation was already over. Rubio and Trump defended this, saying the operation was really a law enforcement mission tied to drug trafficking, not a war. So the war powers rules didn't apply. But critics say that's word games, because US military aircraft dropped bombs on a sovereign nation and captured its head of state. That, they argue, is military action, and under US law, Congress must be informed and must authorize war level operations. So, what does the Constitution actually say? Congress, not the president, has the power to declare war. The president is commander in chief, meaning they can respond to immediate threats.
Did you hear that, bums? Did you hear that, maggots? The congressman. I'm gonna say it slow so you can get it. The congressmen and women, not Donald J. I can't stay awake long enough in the press conference. I can't stay awake long enough in the press conference. Donald J. Trump, it's not up to you. You did it. You did this not once, not twice, but 3 times. Oh, but it does not stop there, ladies and gentlemen. It does not stop there. What about those other receipts? Let's see. I got receipts.
Donald Trump has had one and only one plague: bullying his opponents into silence. He did it as a failed casino owner who bankrupted his properties and screwed over his contractors. He did it as a reality TV host known for firing people. And he's done it as president who tries every day to intimidate people with no regards for the rights or well-being of the American people. I'll say this for the guy.
Oh, Barb, I didn't see you there. I didn't see you. Well, we're just going over after that shitstorm that happened yesterday. Well, we just found out, and we all found out, and I said it yesterday, that what he did was very illegal. Going against Venezuela, capturing I think he's like an ambassador or whatever the fuck. I'm still learning. But he captured Mandaro and his wife and blah, 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 taking them back in the United States for war crimes and blah, 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 which was illegal. Remember the boat situation, what he did? And bombing the boat and taking drugs that it had, I get methyl, whatever it had on there. Whatever type of drug it had on that boat. Remember what happened back in September when they bombed the boat through drones? It said it was bombed once. No, it wasn't bombed once. It was bombed twice. And I just showed that receipt. Now I'm just fast forwarding and going back to the Venezuela situation. Now, the Venezuela situation, they're wondering what's happening to their guy. And the whole Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, she just, well, let me not say it. I'm just going to go ahead and drop you the receipt. I'm just going to go ahead and drop you the receipt real quick. But first, this guy.
Well, he's never seen.
And mind you, he's pissing off everybody. Because guess what? Now, there's another thing that I told you yesterday. They're going to retaliate, which Venezuelan has allies with, guess who? Let me play that receipt real quick. Oh, this is so lovely. Let's see. Thank you so much for this, Dean Waters. Reese, my bad, Reese. Thank you so much for this, Reese. Thank you so much. You're a lightsaber. You know that?
And oh yeah, we'll get there. There's speculation that America is about to go to war with Venezuela. And I want you guys to know that this is beyond just stealing Venezuela's oil and resources. This is about going to war with Iran, and I need you to lock in. These are the top three countries with the most oil: Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. Saudi Arabia is America's bitch. You know who's not America's bitch? Venezuela and Iran. Iran and Venezuela have been allies since the 1950s. Both countries are an economic lifeline for each other. They trade gold, oil, they share military and security intelligence, and they both have a shared hatred for America, mainly because America is a bully, point blank, period. America wants these countries to get on their knees and kiss the ring. And countries like Venezuela and Iran are basically like, no, suck on this. And that threatens America's power, right? Because not only are they saying no, they have a lot of oil, which makes them another threat. And then the fact that the US, in retaliation, put sanctions on countries like, Venezuela and Iran, they're still able to prosper. They're still self sustaining. And that threatens America's power. And so America has been fucking with Iran for a minute, right? There's been CIA coups in Iran in the 1950s. They had Saddam Hussein go to war with Iran. I mean, this year alone, America went to war with Iran on behalf of Israel. And this is the most important piece of all of this. Israel doesn't just want Palestine, it wants all of the Middle East. And this is Netanyahu holding up a map of the new Middle East, which is basically the Greater Israel Project. And Netanyahu has been extremely public about his ambitions. This is him talking about the Greater Israel Project at the United Nations. In June of this year, Netanyahu had convinced Donald Trump that now was the time to attack Iran. So Israel attacks Iran and then gets their ass handed to them. So much so that the US has to intervene. Iran won the 12-day war. The United States had to step in and call for a truce. America and Israel severely underestimated Iran's capabilities, and that threatened America's power. So now America is willing to go to war with Venezuela and steal their oil and resources because they're going to use that oil for their endgame war with Iran. Iran is the last man standing. If Iran falls, that is the end of the Middle East. And the other side of this is that America is willing to go down for Israel. Let me say something. There's only one country that has ever used a nuclear bomb. That's the United States of America. And there's only one country in the Middle East that would use a nuclear bomb, and that's Israel. We all need to lock in and stop this shit. Thank you guys so much for some.
Oh boy. Shit, I was on my way to bed until I heard this shit. So if y'all wake up and one day there is a FP bomb or whatever at your doorstep and it's getting ready to pop, don't say I didn't tell you so. And oh yeah, when though I can't wait for those seats to open up, and a lot of people are pissed off. A lot of people. Trump is not above the law, sirs and ma'ams. He is not above the law. As a matter of fact, this is the this is the reason why I say you shouldn't have celebrities as presidents. I said this about 8 years ago. You shouldn't have celebrities as presidents. You know why? This type of shit happens. He is being forced by elitists to do certain things. And again, he is the president of the United States. But these elitists are the face of the world, the entire fucking world. And he will get in trouble, not just by congressmen, not just by senates, but by he's already indicted, 34 times already? You people cannot be this damn stupid. I do not know why. That's what I gotta concentrate here. Why are you with someone that can get us and a heap of trouble, not with one sovereign country, but another sovereign country, and possibly another sovereign country. I know we're a big bad I know the US is a big bad force to be reckoned with, but why do we need all that pain and all that suffering and wasting millions and millions of dollars in resources for what exactly? And why are we fucking using oil anyway? Aren't we using robot cars? Aren't we inventing? Isn't um, Elon Musk inventing robot cars for the future? Why are we going after oil? That's mind-boggling to me. But at any rate, back to this guy. You know, when you piss off people from Arizona,
He did it as a failed casino owner who bankrupted his properties and screwed over his contractors. He did it as a reality TV host known for firing people. And he's done it as president who tries every day to intimidate people with no regards for the rights or well-being of the American people. I'll say this for the guy. While he's never seemed to do much else right, for most of Donald Trump's career, bullying people has worked out for him. But not now. Because I won't let it happen. The American people won't let it happen. President Trump is trying to silence me, threatening to kill me for saying what is true. And he sent his Secretary of Defense after me. And it's not going to work. Here's how we got here. A week and a half ago, Senator Slotkin and I, along with others who also served in the military and the intelligence communities, we released a video with a simple message to service members that they must refuse illegal orders. Nothing was controversial about that. Everyone must follow the law. No one may break the law. This is pretty basic stuff. Seeing that video, here's how any other president would have responded. They would have said 2 words, of course. But that's not how this president responded. We've become so accustomed to Donald Trump's behavior that it is worth emphasizing. The President of the United States said that 2 U.S. senators and 4 members of the House of Representatives should be arrested, hanged, executed for something we said, for something that is true. My family knows the cost of political violence. My wife, Gabby, was shot in the head and nearly died while speaking with her constituents. The president should understand this too. He has been the target of political violence himself. The Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, Melissa Hortman, and her husband were murdered in their home this year. The governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, had his house firebombed this year. Then Charlie Kirk was assassinated at Utah Valley University, a place I visited just a few weeks ago with Republican Senator John Curtis. Faced with a wave like this, every other president we have ever had in the history of this nation would have tried to heal the country. But we all know Donald Trump. He uses every single opportunity to divide us. And that's dangerous. The president's words carry tremendous weight. People listen to him. And he knows that. And that's exactly why he does what he does. He makes these threats to silence people. And if that doesn't work, he abuses his power to intimidate people. And with the consent of Republicans in the United States Senate, he has surrounded himself with people like the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who will do whatever he says with no question, no matter what. Trump and Hegseth, they care more about publicity than they do about the rule of law. That's how I ended up finding out via a tweet that the Secretary of Defense was ordering an investigation into me. The same Secretary of Defense who has, from the moment he was nominated, has been historically.
Hold on a second. I let it go. I let it linger long enough. This guy in the chat. You must be a Trump supporter. Some range dumb guy speaks, or whatever the fuck your name is. If you're a Trump supporter, you are the supporter of grape, manipulation, lies, sex lies, and videotape. You will be banished from my chat room for 24 hours. Only for 24 hours. I just want to. I want you to actually come back and see the impeachment that's going to happen. May not happen today, may not happen tomorrow, may not happen next week, may not happen next month, may happen 9, 10, 11 months from now, may happen next year once those seats clear up. But I'll let you linger long enough. Anybody who feels the same way as that guy, I mean, you get the same treatment too. I mean, you're not an accomplishment. What's the word I'm looking for? You're if you support Trump, then you support grape. You support grape. You support famine. You support racism. You're probably some racist motherfuckers up in here. But I digress. So that was fact. So let's get into it.
Unqualified for this position. The same Secretary of Defense who is reported to have ordered a second strike to kill shipwreck survivors in the Caribbean. If there is anyone who needs to answer questions in public and under oath, it is Pete Hegseth. It's a dangerous moment for the United States of America when the president and his loyalists use every lever of power to silence United States senators for speaking up. But we all know that this isn't about me, and it's not about the others in that video. They're trying to send a message to retired service members, to government employees, to members of the military, to elected officials, and to all Americans who are thinking about speaking up. You better keep your mouth shut or else. This has been a singular focus of President Trump's second term. Not addressing costs, not creating jobs, intimidating people, and going after the people he views as his political opponents. He's done it to companies. You better write a check to build my ballroom, or I might not approve your merger. He's done it with universities. You better fire your president, or I'll pull your research funding. He's even done it to late night hosts. You better not make jokes that I do not like,
or I'll get you taken off the air, and I'm going to take your company's broadcast license. And he does it every week with Republicans in the House and the Senate. You better toe the party line, or I'll make sure you never get reelected. Folks, this comes at a cost. And not only to American companies, colleges, and comedians, it damages every American's freedom of speech and the balance of powers that form the foundation of our democracy. Because when Republicans in Congress are too afraid to disagree with this president, it means that his bad ideas go unchallenged. He is slapped.
That's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to say. You're banned for life. I don't know how to ban people for life on there, but if you see him on there, if you see that person on there again, ban his ass for life. You know, Trump's father used to be a KKK member, right? If I see that again, yeah, all hell. We ain't playing that bullshit. Not in this live chat, sir. Not in this live chat. You can look it up yourself, dickhead. Donald Trump's father, Fred Trump. I don't care if he supported and or became or was a Klan member. You fuck with the Klan, you're a Klansman. Point blank, period, end of discussion. Point blank, period, end of fucking discussion. Man, where was I? Oh, yeah.
Reckless tariffs on countries across the globe, skyrocketing the cost of everything from groceries to school supplies. Republicans historically, well, at least a year ago, they hated tariffs. But when it comes to voting to undo them, they are too afraid of Donald Trump. So Americans pay more for just about everything because of spineless politicians. It's the same with healthcare costs. There are Republicans in the House and the Senate who really want to do something to prevent these healthcare premiums from spiking for millions of Americans. The solutions are simple.
Capitol Hill.
President Trump says he doesn't want to. So nothing happens. Nothing except a government shutdown. It goes on and on. The president has gone too far. Everybody needs to wake up. The occupant of the Oval Office is ignorant to the Constitution and has no regard for the rule of law. Trying to silence me, in proposing to court-martial me, in threatening to kill me for fighting back when our democracy demands that we must fight back. President Trump has crossed the line. And this time, it's not going to work. I will not be intimidated by this president. I am not going to be silenced by this president or the people around him, because I've given too much in service to this country to back down to this guy. In 1991, when Donald Trump was driving the Taj Mahal casino into bankruptcy, I was getting shot at over Iraq and Kuwait. In 2001, after Donald Trump said that the collapse of the Twin Towers meant he now owned the tallest skyscraper in Manhattan, I was carrying flags honoring 9/11 victims into space on a rocket ship. In 2003, when Donald Trump was writing birthday greetings to the monster Jeffrey Epstein, I was the first on the scene to recover the bodies of my fellow astronauts who died when Space Shuttle Columbia exploded during re-entry. In 2011, when Trump was hosting a reality show and peddling conspiracy theories against President Barack Obama, I was sitting next to my wife's hospital bed as she recovered from a gunshot wound to the head. My point is this: I've been through a lot worse in service to my country. The president and Pete Hegseth are not going to silence me. They aren't going to keep me from speaking out, and they're not going to keep me from doing my job. Enough of the bullying, enough of the intimidation, enough of the threats, enough of your nonsense. Doesn't help anyone in our country afford their groceries or pay their medical bills. And it erodes the rights of every American. My job is to fight for them, to stand up for the Constitution, and nothing is going to stop me from doing my job. Thank you, and I'll take some questions. One second. Just sit this down here. Can you, I know it's Manu from CNN, but for everybody.
A new guy I just gave a ranch to, watch that word. We don't want to trigger you. You don't want to trigger YouTube. So just say the word grape from here on in. Just say grape. I don't know why that's a thing. It's, yeah, I guess the Constitution ain't shit no more. So just watch that word, okay? All right.
Just starting with you, just say who you are, what station. Let me just start, Manu, by saying that there needs to be an investigation.
Thank you.
Pull some of these members.
Thank you so much for the subscription.
Into the armed services committees in the House and the Senate. You know, that's what the White House is saying. I hope what has been reported is not accurate. I revere members of the United States Navy, especially special operators, Navy SEALs. These are the most highly trained, individuals in our military. I have deep, deep respect for them. So I hope what we are hearing is not accurate. I will say though.
Okay, he's just taking questions. It's quite sad. It's quite sad indeed, and yet he said, "Fuck you too." Hey, show you right. But hey, nevertheless, you gotta keep it. You gotta keep it on the low. Oh, this was this was an hour ago.
And one of the quick questions.
This was an hour.
We've just in our inbox received note that Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation has officially been submitted there in Congress. She's the Republican congresswoman from Georgia, was a big supporter of President Trump, and now is one of his biggest critics. What can you tell us about the message she's ending her run on?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you recall we spoke pretty extensively to Marjorie Taylor Greene last month before she left Washington, and she told me that she has no regrets. And obviously, she was a firebrand here in Congress and had her share of controversies and heated arguments with various members. But she says she doesn't regret any of that, even as she now seeks to turn the page on what she says are now toxic politics in this country, more specifically specifically, obviously, we saw that very notable break with the president shortly after that vote surrounding the release of the Epstein files. Marjorie Taylor Greene, however, though, telling me at this point she has no plans to continue a career in politics, so she won't fully rule that out. So we'll have to see ultimately what's next for her, aside from her engagement over the holidays.
Right. Personal life first, and then the professional life will fall into place. Nicole,
Yes.
thank you for all the latest on the big headlines there.
Let's see.
I am not defending Maduro, and
Oh, you defended Trump. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know. Well, no, but many people were screaming impeachment, 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 and then I woke up to a possibility of us going to war with Venezuela, possibly going to war with Venezuela. And I said this, and I told y'all this dude's gonna get us killed. This dude does not care for human life. He does not care for human life. He does not care for yours and mine. If he did, he would extend the tax cuts for healthcare. But since it's Obamacare and not the Affordable Care Act, that it's just all about a fucking name. All about a name, like I said before. Instead, he won't extend the tax cuts on that. He's just gonna let people suffer, but people don't give a shit. People don't give a shit as long as we get these immigrants. All the immigrants. How dare you come into this country? Well, we got green card. Is that paperwork? Let me see. Because I don't want to leave anything out.
World as communist abusers on notice. They go on to say, in a world on fire, a handful of nations require heightened attention. Some represent existential threats to the safety and security of the American people. Others threaten to hurt the U.S. economy. And others are wild cards whose full threat of scope is unknown but nevertheless unsettling. The 5 countries on which the next administration should focus its attention and energy are China, Iran, Venezuela, Russia, and North Korea. This leadership and collaboration must span all tools at the disposal of U.S. allies and partners. Now let's go ahead and put a pin in Iran, won't you? Let's sit with the fact that there was intention on focusing specifically on Venezuela, which was laid out in Project 2025. But here they are telling us it's about, what was that? Fent? Coke? Maui? Whatever the bootlegging. Here they are trying to sell us this narco-terrorism angle when they already have declared from their own playbook their intention to press Venezuela. And what's crazy is the MAGAs will buy it. The MAGAs will buy it. Project 2025 been out for a year plus. Kamala Harris was waving it around like Paul Revere and Patrick Henry saying the British are coming. And yet, here we are. Not to mention the fact that apparently they're not done. Oh my God, no way. No, Katie Miller, that wasn't a cute. Don't you got a podcast to work on or something? Nobody called for you.
But we can't take a chance of, after having done this incredible thing last night, of letting somebody else take over, where we have to do it again. We can do it again too. Nobody can stop us.
Gee, babe, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Hey, MAGA. Yeah, I'm gonna need to holler at you. What part of America First is this? Yeah, that's what I need. I'm gonna need the America First MAGAs, the ones that were pressing all the Jews and certainly the Muslims. And y'all know how they all at us. I need all my America First heritage Americans. Y'all need y'all. What part I'm missing? I'm missing the America First in the whole, yeah, that part. That part I'm definitely missing. No foreign wars. Well, I guess it's not foreign wars if we capture it and it becomes ours. Then it ain't foreign, right? Then it ain't foreign. That is certainly man the logic. I will tell you this, Donnie, though. One thing that you are going to need, if in fact this is how you're going to proceed, you can't oversee all of these jurisdictions at the same time. You can't oversee this jurisdiction when it has your full attention. So you will need to go ahead and put somebody in charge. Don't you got that woman, that Nobel Prize winner, that woman? It sounded like y'all was setting up you were trying to throw the alley-oop.
We will open Venezuela for foreign investment. Not only in oil and gas, we will open all upstream, midstream, downstream. This transition to democracy is going to be the biggest legacy of this leadership for generations to come.
Maria Corina Machado is not a democratic leader by any stretch of imagination. She's been involved in every single undemocratic attempt at removing the government of Venezuela by military coup all the way back to 2002. But not only this, she's been, all this time, she's been a strong advocate of a foreign country, that is the United States, bombing the people of Venezuela in order to achieve her aims. And her aims is, and she's now basically selling the country.
She was talking to a business forum.
Yes, in the US.
This is what foreign policy is all about.
Yes.
Obviously, normally you don't hear about it.
Normally they try to disguise it.
Yeah, these guys are so deranged. They've been living in this bubble of impunity for so many years that they're just blurting it out.
Yeah. That was the lady that they gave the Nobel Prize? That was the Nobel Prize winner? Did they see this? Or did they do any other? I think, who gave out the Nobel Prize? That's who they gave it to. These must be the same people that vetted the cabinet. They didn't do a Google search or nothing. These the same people that was working at Doge, who was putting that website.
It almost sounds like a some type of horror movie. It's not a horror movie, but a thriller movie or something. Boy, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting couple of days, or should I say weeks? Because what I should have done is went on TikTok to see what's going on, because obviously they get this like 2 hours ahead. They get this like 2-3 hours ahead of time. It's like, I'm just late to the party. It's like, what the fuck? I'm just too late to the party. But hey, it's not going to make a difference once they start this shit. Once they gathered all their allies, we better be ready. It's not like they can whoop our ass, but they better be fucking ready. They better be ready. But again, said it before, what's the purpose, ma'am? And did you or did you not confirm it with Congress? You didn't confirm it with you didn't talk to the Congress people about the. You know this is illegal, right? No, you don't care. You don't care because you're Donald Trump and you're the president. You're the 47th president of the United States. Not mine, but hey, we ought to get the Dwayne Johnson to do all this shit. But You don't care about law, do you? Huh? Huh? You you invent law. You're gonna reinvent the laws. Oh, okay. You think you can do it within 3 years? You think you can do it within 3 years? Yeah, you can. Okay. Well, let me ask you something else. Uh, am I gonna get my 5,000 stimulus check? Because I've been waiting in the mail for like 3 weeks. I mean, you said this like a month ago, but am I gonna get my 5,000? Am I gonna? Is it still coming? And once y'all bring the oil in, but what about the tariffs? You said that you was gonna do that with the tariffs and shit. No, the oil. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because we got bills to pay and everything. All right. I got you.
Well, that was thorough. That was thorough. Trump, she'll move.
Aware of the location of opposition leader Machado, and have you been in contact with her?
No, we haven't.
On Monday.
Well, I think it'd be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within, or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
Mr. President?
Hey, I never thought, or should I say, another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Y'all didn't know about Donnie, did you? Y'all didn't know. Hey, why don't you ask any of the women here in America how he feels about them in positions of power?
Nobody has more respect for women than I do.
When I come home and dinner's not ready, I go through the roof.
Let's talk about our great women. Those women have gone through a lot.
A person who's not tested, it's very hard to be
As
tested.
president, I have to be your protector. Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free. You wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful.
Yeah, this man just said quiet piggy to the whole he just quiet piggy the whole entire operation. And he didn't just say she didn't have the support. He said, or the respect, and then repeated it twice. Thanks for coming. Well, thanks for coming. That is how things go with Donald Trump. Ask, I don't know, any of the MAGAs. Ask any of them in Congress, as any of his past cabinet administration. Ask literally any of the MAGAs. That's how it goes. Matter of fact, you can ask Benjamin Netanyahu. You remember the look on his face when they had that press conference and he started talking about the Middle East Riviera? You remember that? Oh yeah, you thought it was a joint venture? Yeah, we go, put a nice little gaudy Trump sign on the West Bank. That's what we're gonna do. You know what? We're gonna have some girls in flute glasses all across the settlement.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
He basically told that, like,
How the hell are you going to have all these particular plans basically within a 3 year span, which you're not going to be in 3 years because, like I said, your time is coming, buddy. But for the sake of argument, you're going to do all that in due time, but yet people in the United States of America are struggling. Houses is going up, food's still up. Gas prices in certain places in the United States is still up. But you gotten oil. Oh, whoop-de-doo. You are willing to do anything not to release the rest of those goddamn files. And this is the reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene is whooping your ass. Oh, shit. I missed it. I'm missing it. Check.
Arabia is America's bitch. You know who's not America's bitch?
Detroit. DC, Baltimore. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Venezuela and Iran. Iran and Venezuela have been allies since the 1950s. Both countries are an economic lifeline for each other. They trade gold, oil, they share military and security intelligence, and they both have a shared hatred for America, mainly because America is a bully.
Hey,
They are. He said Detroit. How dare you?
Nah, you got it.
Reese, why you say Detroit, man? Why you say
America
Detroit?
wants these countries to get on their knees and kiss the ring. And countries like Venezuela and Iran are basically like, no, suck on this. And that threatens America's power, right? Because not only are they saying no, they have a lot of oil, which makes them another threat. And then the fact that the US, in retaliation, put sanctions on countries like, Venezuela and Iran, they're still able to prosper. They're still self-sustaining. And that threatens America's power. And so America has been fucking with Iran for a minute, right? There's been CIA coups in Iran in the 1950s. They had Saddam Hussein go to war with Iran. I mean, this year alone, America went to war with Iran on behalf of Israel. And this is the most important piece of all of this. Israel doesn't just want Palestine. It wants all of the Middle East. And this is Netanyahu holding up a map of the new Middle East, which is basically the Greater Israel Project. And Netanyahu has been extremely public about his ambitions. This is him talking about the Greater Israel Project at the United Nations.
That was so much to unpack. Now, first, remember when I told you to put a pin in Iran, which was in Project 2025. Also, keep in mind, just the mere fact that they hold the oil reserves that they do already triggers something else that we saw in Project 2025. It wasn't just about America's safety, it was about preservation of business interests, which that would happen to be one, both prior to and certainly after commandeering Venezuela's reserves. But I wouldn't have believed that Israel would have put forth a whole map for a long-term plan on what the Middle East would look like and then engage in this kind of activity in order to make it happen if I hadn't also read just about every step-by-step thing that's happened over the course of the past year in Project 2025 vis-a-vis this administration. So apparently that is how they roll these days.
In June of this year, Netanyahu had convinced Trump that now was the time to attack Iran. So Israel attacks Iran and then gets their ass handed to them. So much so that the US has to intervene. Iran won the 12-day war. The United States had to step in and call for a truce. America and Israel severely underestimated Iran's capabilities, and that threatened America's power.
Note to Lisa, anybody with a sniper, please go ahead and snipe each and every time that you see him, just go ahead and snipe him. And if you can, ban him. This fucker had the nerve to talk about being racist. The last time I spoke to him, Uda Block warned me about him. Paige warned me about him. Some girl warned me about him. And then suddenly he said something. She said something to the effect that Michelle Obama was a monkey or some stupid shit. So if you see V, just block him, please. I'm done with that guy. I should have listened to Uda. I should have listened to Uda Block the first time around. But he has no conversation with We-On-Loc. No conversation at all. When you call Michelle Obama a monkey, we ain't mincing words. Sorry.
So now America is willing to go to war with Venezuela and steal their oil and resources because they're going to use that oil for their endgame war with Iran. Iran is the last man standing. If Iran falls, that is the end of the Middle East. And the other side of this is that America is willing to go down for Israel. Let me tell you something. There's only one country that has ever used a nuclear bomb. That's the United States of America. And there's only one country in the Middle East that would use a nuclear bomb, and that's Israel. We all need to lock in and stop this shit.
I got a question. When you said America's willing to go down for Israel, who that? Who? Name names, because that, you know what I mean?
And you do understand that Trump's war with Venezuela has very little
Ain't nobody over here.
Terrorists and has everything to do with the state of Israel, right? And before you think to yourself, what does that even mean? Let me explain to you what's happening. Israel is getting ready to bomb Iran again. That little war that we started earlier this year when Donald Trump bombed Iran was just the precursor for Israel to start a full-blown war with Iran, because apparently they're still developing nukes, even though Donald Trump said we, quote, obliterated their program. And what's going to happen when Israel and Iran go into a full-scale war that makes what happened earlier this year look like a joke? Well, the U.S. isn't going to get oil from the Middle East quite as easily, and so Donald Trump is taking preemptive measures to make sure that we can invade Venezuela and steal their oil instead. It's all connected, people. Just pay attention to the facts.
Hey, America First MAGA, don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. I got a couple more. For you. Yeah, just in case y'all still holding on to that whole America First, which is wild. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what line needs to be crossed at this point.
All right, don't cross this line. Otherwise, I can't support you. Okay, I can't stay mad at you, but this one for sure. Okay. All right, Mr. President. Okay.
And let's also be clear about the fact that if there is no line that can be crossed, your support isn't actually about anything. Like, I can tell you that there are no consistent virtues in MAGA, but then you have you guys moving the way that you move, and you make it so abundantly clear.
I want to go ahead and follow Reese Waters. Go ahead and follow Reese Waters to the team, man. Dude is too damn funny. Go ahead and follow Reese Waters and, tell him I said, why? When you go over there, remind him, it's like, don't talk about Detroit. Please, don't talk about Detroit. I mean, I wasn't born in Detroit. I was born in Lansing. But I've driven back and forth to Detroit many and many a time, bro. Come on, bruh. Bruh, why Detroit? Why Detroit? You could have named any other city other than Detroit, bro. Come on. Follow Reese Waters. Follow Reese Waters. Now, needed as it may, I'm telling you, and I'm telling you so you will know. Y'all, the United States is some deep trouble. Maybe not today, and maybe not tomorrow. The fair warning. It's not gonna look pretty for the nation. And many people, including senators, including congressmen, are severely pissed off. But people are saying to me that nothing's going to happen to Trump. Trump is our president. I mean the same person that raped Eugene Carroll. That person that raped Eugene Carroll. That person. Okay. All right. Y- y'all need to make it. Y'all need to make a decision and make a decision quick. All right. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to say. Y'all gonna have the rest of y'all day until I find something else important to rap to you about. All right. Peace